credit market have led to key rates hitting historic heights. The Central Bank of Kenya, CBK, has been raising the base lending rate to combat inflation that had stayed above the 7.5% target for 13 consecutive months. The rate that now stands at 10.5% have been increased twice this year, having been at 8.25% at the beginning of the year. Key players in the credit market are now paying a premium to access cash. Data from the banking sector regulator indicates that the private sector was paying an average of 13.2% annually in May. However, the rate has gone up. The banks that have received approval for risk-based pricing lending at over 20% in a move that will likely start business of cash in an economy that is already struggling with depressed purchasing power.
Equity Bank Kenya on Wednesday urged the High Court to lift an order blocking the receivership of TransCentury and East African Cables Limited, arguing that the orders were obtained without disclosing important facts of the court. The lender told Justice Alfred Mabeya that the TransCentury does not deserve intervention because it failed to disclose to the court that the company could not repay loans, as the firm raised only 828 million shillings from the right issue. Further, the lender, through senior counsel Kirago Kimani and Lawson Ondieki, said the firm could not possibly raise the 2 billion shillings as claimed. While urging the court to lift the order blocking Muniu Dhoidi and George Weru from taking over the running of the TransCentury, Mr. Kirago said that the debtor failed to disclose to the court that it had acknowledged the debts and pleaded with the lender for a 90 days grace period as they negotiated the repayment plan. This is a party that approached the court in bad faith by failing to disclose material facts, said Mr. Kirago. The lender placed the two firms under receivership after declining a request to write off over 2.8 billion shillings. Debt owned by TransCentury PLC and another 1.948 billion shillings owned by its subsidiary East African Cables. The application was supported by Paul Ogunde for the receiver managers, saying TransCentury was trying to create an impression that they wanted to impair or disrupt the businesses.
The government on Wednesday asked the High Court to lift an order blocking the importation of 125,000 tons of edible oil, claiming that the freeze will occasion a loss of 17 billion shillings, which has already been paid to suppliers. According to the government, the goods are likely to go to waste as they are perishable. Through senior counsel Ahmed Abdullahi, the government said the product is being held in a depot in Mombasa and continued freeze might see them to go west. The High Court blocked the importation of the oil in June following an application by the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, arguing that the decision to allow the Kenya National Trading Corporation, KNTC, to bring the commodity duty-free was irrational. Treasury CS Njuguna Ndung'u had defended the move, stating that the letter given to the corporation on January 23rd was within the law. Professor Ndung'u said the country was experiencing a prolonged drought and granting the corporation permission to import the product was meant to elevate famine and the high cost of food.
Supermarket chain Carrefour has partnered with the University of Nairobi and Strathmore University, from which it will recruit candidates for its retail graduate program. The retailer will initially hire 9 graduates from the two institutions and train them for 2 years, during which they will be paid salaries as full-time employees. The recruitment is scheduled to start in October. The strategy is to hire fresh graduates and train them for 2 years. After an assessment of their performance, We offer full-time mid-management payment role for those who finished successfully. Carrefour's Locals franchise holder Majid Al-Futain Retail said, the program will see the candidates undergo an intensive 24-month on-the-job training, which includes rotation across in-store operations, e-commerce, and merchandise functions, among others. The program will also be available in 10 other top universities in countries such as Egypt, Georgia, Jordan, Pakistan, and the United Arab Emirates. Thank you for having us. This is Sacred Radio, and my name is Joseph Kinyanjui.
And my name is Cynthia Nechesa.
Habari hizi zimeletwa kwako na Thika Road Radio kwa hisani ya Sheltex Insurance Agency. Kwa mahitaji yako yote ya bima, chagua Sheltex Insurance Agency kupitia nambari yao ya simu 0725384541.